No matter how you slice it, we live in a tech-heavy world. Wherever you look, it's hard to escape the technology that runs our lives. From cell phones to tablets, apps to cloud computing, to live in the modern world means adapting to the tech that makes it happen. But what do you do if you want to get away from it all and break loose from the shackles? We found someone who has an answer.
I'm Curt Schwebke, and I work for Dell Computer. My role is Executive Director of Technical Strategy.
A lifelong adrenaline junkie, Curt's formative years were spent in Minnesota, where he loved to ski and snowmobile. At an early age, though, he knew he wanted to be on the forefront of the tech world, and in his early 20s, he took a job at Intel. It was there that some coworkers introduced him to motorcycling, and he was hooked. A 650 Kawasaki led to a Z1R that was heavily modified. Eventually, though, he started a family, and the bikes had to go. Fast forward to today, and Curt finds himself with a high-profile job, grown kids, and an empty nest. This was the perfect time to get back into motorcycling.
So, for those who work in Silicon Valley, know that the day starts early and typically ends late. You wake up, you start doing emails at 6 in the morning, drive to work, you have 4 or 5 meetings a day, you work with your team, you work on projects, future research, etc. So there's a tremendous pressure on the technology front to that you be innovative, yet be able to execute and deliver to a product that basically meets customer needs. With all that pressure, coming home, and again, this is all technology with my partners are Intel, Microsoft, Google, and Apple, and it doesn't seem to be a break. I had to find something that would allow me to find balance in my life, and the Zero has really, I feel very fortunate to be able to have a machine like this that could take me anywhere I want to go, completely silent. I never look at a gas station again. Essentially no maintenance, and I get 150 miles per charge to go wherever I want, to the beach, to the mountains, along the rivers, wherever I want to go. This machine takes me there. Technology, we tend to think in information technology, we think of devices like PCs, smartphones, servers, networks, the cloud itself. This motorcycle has technology that is so well integrated that is completely hidden from me. There's a computer in here, it actually connects to my iPhone. I can monitor the bike's performance, change the actual drivetrain, how it performs for me. But that's it, and I turn it on, I go, and I never think about it again. I've been riding a motorcycle for over a year. Everywhere I've gone, it has never caused me one single issue. It's never a failure, never a misstep, never anything that I wasn't expecting it to do. There's a highway called Highway 17, which when I leave work, I drive up, and I know when I get home, I can get out of my car, walk over, throw my helmet on, and take my motorcycle out for a quick ride, whenever I want. And fortunately, my place to escape to, where there's no cars, and just animals and trails, and just beautiful, beautiful scenery, and you can even see the ocean from where I live. It's right out my door. I just go 100 feet and I'm on my way, and it's something that it really moves you. So being born and raised Catholic, as those of us who've been born and raised Catholic, church was always a family institution where everyone would go to church. I never really had a strong connection with that. It was a building with a bunch of people. I went through it for years. When I moved to California, I didn't go to church anymore. It just wasn't as important to me. But to replace that feeling of belonging to something in the sense of enlightenment, I use my motorcycle now that every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. I go out and ride for hours. And I don't think about what I do at work. I don't think about anything but just having the most fantastic time exploring this beautiful country. One of my favorite experiences is in riding along the ridges. One time I was riding and I suddenly found myself behind a flock of birds that were close to the ground, flying along the road. And I was able to actually, my motorcycle is so quiet and so unobtrusive, I was actually able to get within 3 feet of the flock of the birds, and I rode for quite some time before they even knew I was there. I used to hang glide, and flying a hang glider was an experience as well. The motorcycle gives me the same exact feeling. It feels like I'm flying, and I do everything with one twist of the wrist, and one brake, 2 brakes, that's it. There's no clutch, there's no gear shift. You just turn and go 0 to 100 in a single twist of the grip. Where I live in the mountains, most of it's very technical and difficult switchbacks, a lot of dirt, the roads are in very poor shape. On a Zero, the power is instantaneous and it's completely controlled within your wrist. You never downshift, you just give it power. The controller automatically adjusts the torque to the work at hand, and I can basically climb anything that the tires will stay on. The torque was simply the ability to climb anything from a dead stop has been really an enlightenment on how the electric motorcycle technology is evolving to what I believe 10 years from now, I won't be one of 2,000 motorcycles out there with the Zero brand. I'll be one of 100,000 motorcycles. In my role as CTO at Dell, my charter is to think out of the box, create innovations and whole new concepts of products that have yet to be discovered and actually brought to market. I feel exactly the same way about the Zero motorcycle. I feel the design team at Zero has created a product that really gave me a whole new opportunity to, a whole new kind of recreation for me. One thing that I think is underappreciated about electric motorcycles is there's practically no maintenance. And as anyone who's owned a gas motorcycle, there's a lot of maintenance. There's oil changes, there's chain tightening, and there's grease everywhere after a run. You have to keep it clean. I just take a wet rag, wipe this motorcycle down. There's never any grease. There's never any fluids leaking on my floor of my garage. In fact, it's so clean, and I was so excited to have it. I actually put the motorcycle in my house for 3 months once I first got it. On hardwood oak wood floors, and not a drop, not a speck, nothing. It was just completely part of my household furniture. And I was very, very proud of. My view of electric motorcycles is it's just the beginning. The technology is proven. It proves itself to me every day I ride it. That's not a question. It's more about the adoption by people because it's different. I tend to think of the electric motorcycle as not it's not a vehicle as should be compared to a conventional gas-powered motorcycle, because it does things very, very differently. First of all, I went back to it, there is no maintenance. And what I mean by that is the battery in the Zero is good for 300,000 miles. That's thousands of recharges, and typically, if you do the math, for me to ride this motorcycle 300,000 miles is completely outside of my lifespan. So I call this my life motorcycle. I have no plans to ever replace it, and at most maybe there'll be a firmware upgrade and occasional tire change, but I'm going to be enjoying this motorcycle well into my 90s is my plan.